Hi everybody, my name is Jay Bowles. I'm an actor and a scientist, but above all else, I'm a discoverer, I'm an adventurer. I was designed to discover. So I want to welcome you all to my new YouTube channel called the American Walkabout, where I will document all the journeys and adventures that I will have, and hopefully bring you guys along for the adventure. But please bear with me on this first episode, as I was working out the kinks of being new to this. I filmed half of it in portrait and half of it in landscape, but I do hope you enjoy the journey and enjoy the ride to Big Bend National Park. See you on the flip side. I should probably get out of this tree now, shouldn't I? Yeah, good idea. Glad you can join me on the American Walkabout. Today's walkabout adventure takes us on an 8-hour drive west of Austin to beautiful Big Bend National Park. Well, it's 3:30 in the morning and I'm all packed up and ready to drive, 350 miles to Big Bend? Yeah, so I just learned it's not 350 miles, it's 440. So, see you on the flip side. And I believe, yeah. Believe I'm here. Yeah! All right, fellow walkabouters, here's my plan of attack for my walkabout. I'll be parking here on day one, Mule Ear Overlook, starting with 7 liters. Plenty, however, not quite enough. So I'll be hiking out a few miles. Mule Ear Springs right there, and then spend the night in the middle of nowhere near Mule Ear Peaks. Right, in the morning I'll head back up to my car and drive up here to Homer Wilson Ranch. And on day 2, hopefully I'll still have about 5 liters of water left. I'll be hiking halfway up this 5.5 mile trail. And by the time it gets dark, I will camp somewhere off the trail called zone camping. Then on the morning of day 3, I'll finish the rest of this up to the peaks of the Chisos Mountains, where at that point I can then hike down to my specific site on the South Rim, which is highly praised for its view. The wind is ice cold, which I look forward to that. And so I began my walkabout, and was welcomed by all 100 degrees of the West Texas desert. Well, it's going on 7 p.m. and been hiking for a few hours. Man, is it dry. I'm camping near a formation called the Mule Ears. But before I lay down my camp there, before it gets dark, I'm looking for a place called Mule Springs, which I guess is mostly dried up right now, the rangers tell me, but they say there's a little bit of water left, a little bit of stagnant water. So I'm hoping to find that somewhere in this direction. And well, I'm gonna filter it out and hopefully have some cold filtered water. But it's, got an hour and a half of light left. Not too bad. Well, I found the springs. Much to my displeasure, they're down a little ravine with swarms of wasps and bees flying around. I don't know if you see them. I think I might need to do a little mastery here. Use my stick to dip my cup in there and then filter out water from my cup. But that's about 3-4 feet down, so. But I see water. So I gotta be honest with you, I'm actually pretty surprised. Here we go. About half a liter of fresh enough water. It looks not super clean, but I know it is clean. Pretty cool. Pulled that out of there. The water had tadpoles in it. When I pulled up the mug full of water, there were 2 tadpoles in it, so I know the water quality can't be that bad. And it's getting kind of late. I'm running out of some time here. I'm gonna go ahead and drink a lot of this, and then I'm gonna set up camp probably half a mile from here and have myself a good night. All right, now the springs were just right over that closest butte, about a quarter mile away. And I found as I come this way more and more, I'm finding some pretty interesting minerals. Like quartz, fairly common where I'm at right now. It's pretty cool. I wonder where else I'll find. There's supposed to be arrowheads, fossils. If I do find one, I'm not supposed to keep it though. Looks like I'm coming to the end of my first day here at Big Bend. And I gotta say, I'm actually fairly surprised. I like the place. It's a little, it's a little bit drier than I would have liked, but hey, I found that spring and it tasted good. Tasted quite good. Oh, I've hiked, I don't know, about 5 miles. 5 miles and about 5 hours worth. That's 1 mile an hour. This is very technical terrain. It's very dry, very rocky, boulders, cactuses everywhere. Oh, and I'm also hiking in these bad boys. Ah, yes, so that the feet can breathe. My 3rd day, I will be in high altitudes. I'm gonna be wearing my hiking boots for that. All right. I'm gonna clock out for tonight and hydrate the heck out of myself. Prepare myself for the 2nd day. So it's starting to get dark, and I notice right to my left, I've got this super creepy Harry Potter weeping willow tree just waving in the wind. So that's gonna be fun. Well, really strong gusts of wind around 3 or 4 a.m. I was kind of hoping or expecting to hear a coyote or a bear or something nearby, but nothing. Not a single animal. They call it a desert for a reason. On to day 2 now. My first priority for the day will be to go back down to that same spring I went to yesterday. I'm going to try to refill about 2 liters worth of water. And I'm not feeling ill at all. I feel great. So I know that filter did its job. That's my first priority. Let's get to it. Look, there are some big bees out here in the desert. I mean, I'm not afraid of bees, but I'm afraid of these things. They look like bumblebees, but they're 1.5 inches long. And they're loud. You can hear them coming from hundreds of feet away. I feel like I'm being chased by velociraptors out here. Looking left and right. You don't know where it's coming from. Anyways, this is my setting right now. Got a couple different peaks. Way off there in the distance, I've got Mule Springs. The kind of green strip you'll see on your screen. And I'm gonna go fuel up my water reserves. This is day 2 of my walkabout, and I'm about to begin a 6-mile hike at a place called Blue Creek. Let me give you a little peek of what the area looks like. It's at the base of the mountains, and it begins right here, goes up 6 miles into the Chizos Mountains, where I will be camping before I get to the mountains, and then tomorrow I'll continue the hike up into the mountains, do 8-mile loop up there, and come back here. I discovered that I have a travel companion. Oh, you don't want to travel with me anymore? Well, fine then. It's coming to the end of my second day, and I'm getting ready to set up camp. It's getting dark, but check out my view. All right, those are the Chizos Mountains. But I'm high enough in elevation now that I'm no longer in desert. I like that. Check this out. Deciduous tree, deciduous tree. Ah, we got an evergreen there. I'm from Washington, I miss my evergreens. And here's my campsite for the night. A nice little clearing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set up camp, and I'm gonna finish this 6-mile hike tomorrow morning and get ready for the additional 5 miles tomorrow as well. That was a fly landing on my neck. Night. Now that camp is all set up, I can relax. My inventory is doing well. I have a little over 4 liters of water left that should last me another 36 hours is the plan. My food reserves are down a little bit, but I haven't felt hungry in 2 days because I'm too busy exerting myself. But I will be ending my trip here in about 36 hours, and I'll be rationing out my water and my food in the process. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, and temperatures dropped a lot. I'm at a lot higher elevation, so I imagine that would be the case. But it's probably 20, 30 degrees colder than it was last night. And the same story. Eerily quiet. No noises. Nothing. Maybe tomorrow night I'll hear something. It's the morning of day 3. My water reserves are at a little over 3 liters, and I have about 4,000 to 5,000 calories left to eat. This is my setting right now. I'll be hiking those today and then camping up top tonight. I do hope to find a spring or 2. 3 liters is not enough to make me content. So I'll be conservative today on supplies and looking for alternative water sources as well. Out. All right, halfway up the mountains. Whew, yeah. This is my view, and this is my super steep incline that I'm switchbacking on. On the map, I started right here. This was yesterday morning, and I've hiked all the way up here. I camped somewhere in here, and now I am gone to where a bunch of switchbacks are. I'm assuming I'm right about there. Close to the summit, baby. One of the summit. Depending on water supplies, I will either summit here tonight and then return down here to camp in Mid-Valley, or I will actually camp down here, depending on how much water I have left over when I summit. I'll keep you guys updated. I found myself a great little vista point. Check out the view. And you can hear the wind. That horizon in the background is Mexico. I'm gonna hit down 3 on the way left. this hike probably tomorrow and check it out. Still have to hike that guy. At this point, I'm not hiking along primitive trails. I've gone far enough into the park that these are established pathways. That's an official hiking trail. Good view still. But my campsite will be no longer zone camping. It'll no longer be where I want to camp. It'll be an official backpacking site that, as you can tell, I'm hiking into. So I didn't get to choose where I camped at, but I'm not going to be complaining. Reached the summit. It's a terrifying summit, but definitely worth the hike. Check it out. Before it got too dark, it was time to set up camp for night 3. Once I carved the head of my walking stick into a bear, these guys showed up. Apparently not afraid of humans. That's good. So I want you guys to meet my neighbor Jeremy. He's a pretty good guy. Hey Jeremy. And a deer selfie. This is the morning of the last day here, and I have a big day ahead of me. I'm on the peak of the South Rim, and I need to hike back down to my car, which will be over 8 miles. It's goddamn cold. As expected, on top of a mountain in a desert, it dropped down to probably low 40s last night, and it can't be any warmer than high 40s right now. So I'm eating some of my last bit of grub here. I have about 1.5 liters of water remaining. I'll update you when I get halfway back to my car, or if I'm fast enough when I get back to my car. Hey look, I'm not in the mountains anymore. I'm in the basin with that sun beating down on my back. I look destroyed. Next, I headed on down to the Rio Grande. Check this out. That's all dried mud. This is where the Rio Grande usually is, but it's pretty dry. That's how small the Rio Grande is right now. stand on the banks of the Rio Grande, USA, Mexico. Did somebody say illegal border crossing? Thanks for joining me today on the first episode of the American Walkabout, where you saw me adventure around Big Bend National Park for 4 days and 3 nights. Now, I created this series in an attempt to document my process of walkabout, my adventure and my discovery, because personally I believe it's a healthy thing for everybody to have a walkabout at some point in their life. So come with me on the next journey. Will it be Louisiana, New Mexico, Colorado? I would like it if you guys can decide. And leave a comment below. Let me know what your best option would be. And I'll do that walkabout for you. Until next time, fellow walkabouters, thanks for coming along.